Welcome to Thriving in Multifamily, a visionary podcast brought to you by the Multifamily Media Network. Join in as we explore motivation, inspiration, and engage in thought-provoking conversations. We provide actionable ideas to help you establish a solid foundation to achieve your career goals. I am your host, Lacey Daniels, and I'm excited to bring you inspiring stories that will empower you to reach your full potential. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Thriving in Multifamily and in Life. I am your host, Lacey Daniels, and this episode today is brought to you by Multifamily Media Network. I am excited about this episode because I get to reconnect with an old guest, but a new friend, Jessica Tierney. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm really good. I'm super stoked to get the opportunity to talk with you again. So thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming back on. And we got a loaded episode, right? I've got so much to dive into. I'm so curious about what's going on. And recently we were just talking about how it's been over a year. That is like amazing to me. And it just is an honor that you came back. But yeah, so what has life looked like for you since then? Or, the podcast. Let's kind of talk a little bit about that and where you're at and what's going on with you.
Yeah, so I actually switched, positions. I work with a new company now called Verifast. I am
Okay.
their vice president of product. The last time we spoke, I was the strategic partnerships manager for Chadwell Supply, and I handled all of their procurement integrations and the service side that went with that. So, funny story, I met Verifast at OpTech in 2023. We had a lot of mutual customers, and I was running around with their vice president of sales at the time, talking with people together. And apparently it was her mission to, basically bring me on last year. So she reached out to me in May. And like the conversation started with her CEO. And then fast forward to August, I got an official offer with Verifast to come on to be their director of strategic partnerships and integrations. And it's been kind of like a whirlwind of just fast forwarding. We've re-engineered a lot of product to essentially be more from the multifamily perspective, because that's where I've spent 18 years of my life. So everything has been really geared towards that. And I got promoted this year to VP of product based around all of those initiatives. So super stoked that I took the leap, if you want to call it that, because Chadwell is a good home. Yeah, Chadwell's a good home. Everybody that I worked with there, I loved so deeply. But I am a builder and I need to run fast and I want to be innovative. And it's really cool to be part of a company where innovation is totally respected. They really want to run fast. They want to create new things, have new ideas brought to the table. It's such a unique culture to be in with Verifast. So.
Wow, man, that is a lot, Jessica, and that's so awesome. And congratulations on your new role.
Yeah.
That is so amazing. And that has been a whirlwind. And it's amazing how it's brought you where you're at and how you took that leap. I always say, take those leaps, take that, because you never know what it can do for you and within your journey. So that's kudos to you. And I'm excited to see more of what's going to happen with you in your new role. So, and the fact that how that drew to you to that opportunity with your connection, and networking and meeting people. So, man, time has changed. So, how did you prepare yourself to make that leap? What was it that you're like, it's time?
So I actually had a really amazing conversation with my old boss from Chadwell based around the opportunity. And, he really sat down and explained to me that he realizes that my capabilities are so much more than what, we could essentially utilize, with Chadwell, and how he just felt that I need to make the best choice for me. And he was just worried that like if I, would have stayed, with Chadwell, that essentially like I would never, gain the traction that I was really looking for. And he wanted me to be happy and feel fulfilled. And even though like it was a sad goodbye, I really felt like he was looking out, for me. And I really respect him for that. He was an amazing, leader. But, at the end of the day, like, I want to run fast and I want to do cool things. And, this was a huge leap for me because, Chadwell was, corporate, family owned, and, coming over to more of a startup and prop tech. They've been around for 5 years now, but still, like, it was a definite leap. But I was very much encouraged and supported. And even though I miss all of my Chadwell family,
Yeah.
this has been a really cool experience. And, I'm proud of myself for having the bravery to do it. And
Yes.
I also, I have a great team at Chadwell, and that department is now being ran by Miss Charity Ford. I taught her everything that I know. She's still doing an amazing job over there. And she's brought uniqueness to the table and her own spin on how to help that industry for the procurement side.
Yeah.
So I'm super proud of her as well.
Oh, wow. No, that's amazing. And you know what's so amazing is that you had a leader that was encouraging to the point to say, you know what? You can blossom more, you can go out there, you could do more. There's so much capabilities that that they didn't stop you, and to me that's so empowering. I was just talking about empowerment and how that is, and to me that lines up with that purpose and with leaders. And so now you get to do it within your new role and have a team and be able to build off of that. But I want to kind of dive in about you, the evolution of Jessica, right? Like how the involvement went, and how are you staying true to yourself? What does that look like for you in this season of life?
Well, it's definitely different, just because ultimately, like, I would have never dreamed that, I would be in, straight up product. I've
Wow.
always had, within multifamily, more of a customer interfacing, role. And kind of working with like the public, so it's different to be the VP of product, and it being
Yeah.
really focused on internal pieces to improve what we're doing as a company. But this is where the uniqueness for me kind of comes in, because I'm working really closely along with our VP of operations, Becca Stafford, with the customers now too. So like we kind of created like this interesting hybrid of how we tackle everything together. So I spend a lot of time, with customers and her team in particular to support when it comes to our product, which is what I think makes us so unique. Is we're a very white glove approach, and that's what I'm good at. Creating that method of how we can help the industries that we touch, to make it more simplified, because we know that turnover is so high. We want to essentially be able to help fight fraud. Obviously that's our niche, that's our number one goal, but also too like letting them have like a helping hand, because we know that applicants can be very difficult to work with, and obviously to catch the fraud, but also they're not so tech savvy. So we spend a lot of time making sure to support that at all levels that we can together.
Wow. No, that's good. And that's something definitely our industry needs. And I love the spin on that and what you're going to be able to bring to the table and work with that within your company. But that right there kind of revolves around your approach of leadership, right? And how different it is in your new space. Have you thought about that more, how you're going to approach that with this and moving forward? And let's kind of dive into that.
Yeah, so essentially, we're in the process right now of creating like a tier support program, and basically like how we can serve customers, 7 days a week, early in the morning till late in the evening, and then they kind of have different avenues of connection.
Yeah.
So from a just application issue, which would be more of our customer success side, versus somebody who's maybe having bigger trouble with integration, and product, working as it should. We're basically handling that together. So as people are onboarding, we go through a discovery call, we go through an onboarding call, a training call, and then that way they get to know each of the key players in the company to help and support their teams.
Yeah.
And that's where I think that Verifast is very different than a lot of companies, because we do offer that level of white glove service, but also too, almost everyone that I work with is from the industry. So you have people, yeah. So you have people that have been in their shoes, you know what I mean? To be able to
Yeah.
like talk through the nuances, or like the user behaviors that we all love and hate, and then how do we, bridge those gaps to make it
Yeah.
easy for the internal staff, to make it easy for our customers and for their applicants. We're trying to tie everything together from looking at from all of those perspectives to where we can be the very best, when it comes to the product service, but also
Yeah.
number one in customer service.
That's one thing I was sitting here thinking and I was writing down because it sounds not only the support side of it, because I think that's very important to have all those tiers and the levels of support and having the background, but being so customer service focused. And that is so important. And that's what customers look for. And I love how you tapped in like having people work that's in the industry so they know the ins and outs and they can understand it. So, yeah, no, that's interesting. I'm excited about what the company will do and what it's going to do for the multifamily industry, but just for our customers and clients in itself too. So, Jessica, looks like you have a lot on your plate that you are being able to kind of navigate through and be able to lead the way, and that is so fun, but exciting at the same time. No, I always say when you come into these new worlds, it's like that excitement and nerves, but at the same time, you're so ready to go. And I love how you say you're so driven and creative and ready to kind of move forward and really see how that's going to pan out. So I'm really interested in seeing that in your journey. So that's exciting. So what about some other stuff that goes on in your life? I know work is exciting. I know how you got through the change and the evolution of you within the year, which is so amazing and empowering to see where you're at today, Jessica. But also about, what are some challenges you think that you will face with in your new role or within any leadership roles that you think are some challenges?
Yeah, so this is the first time in a long time where like my team is so far away from me. So like
Yeah,
everybody's remote, right? So
yeah,
we are launching a brand new database, literally within the next few weeks to our first, set of clients. And with that being said, like we had everybody come in to Tampa to essentially work on this project together. So, one of our architecture engineers came in from London. My boss, our CTO, Craig Schoen, came in from Canada. And then my product manager, Harar, came in from Canada as well. So like we're like all here right now working on this project. And it was good that we did that because I felt like it put all of the masterminds in the room together to essentially be able to make this such a, fast forwarded launch. But that I think that is the strangest thing for me. I'm such a people person. So for me to have to be very people-y in camera and trying to get my team to stay engaged, I think was a new challenge for me. But I think we did it. And then having some of them come and meet me in person, I felt like brought us closer as a team. And I'll actually be going to Canada to see them at the end of May. But that was new. Coming into a very tech space type role and learning all of that over video
yeah,
was totally an anomaly for me. But in the end, like it forced me to be very hands-on. It forced me to ask a lot of really detailed questions. And I'm very thankful, for my team because I don't think that I would have onboarded or really launched to the point that I'm at now with all of the support from every single department and showing me the ropes and letting me get into the trenches with them to have that hands-on experience to force myself to kind of get through all of the product nuances because it takes a lot to run our product. There's so many integrations, there's so many pieces, and then you have to have all of this configurability for all the different verticals that we touch. So making sure that every piece of product matches what the customer need is from their operational day to day. So like really working through what Verifast is today to what Verifast is going to be in the future, and being
Yeah.
so new and remote was like a whole like I don't know what I'm doing. Like I was like I feel like I felt like imposter syndrome at the beginning. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I was like, this is so out of water for me. But honestly, it was like the coolest experience because I feel like I know so much more. And then I figured out how I can support so much more. And, I brought a level of organization and structure, into the company for the product space as well, which I think has really helped improve quality of life for like everybody. Because that's me. Like I want to build it, and here we go. Like let's run as fast as we can. So, but yeah, I think that was probably like the most difficult thing with making that change and everybody being so remote. I couldn't just walk into somebody's office and be like, "Hey, can you do this with me?" I'm messaging them, "Hey, give me a call when you get a second." You know what I mean, type stuff. So, but yeah, I think that was probably the biggest challenge was the remote aspect.
Wow, I love that. I loved how you like really full circle took it around because it can be really challenging being remote and having a team and leading and engaging and still having that impact with your team. But I love how you also tapped into imposter syndrome because I think that's something that we all have faced and challenged when it comes into new roles and making sure that we bring and we can bring something to the table that is very unique within ourselves and being able to be capable. And you brought all of your great qualities there, Jessica. So again, that's what makes it more exciting. And then what's fun about it, you get to travel more to Canada. Come on now, that's and everyone else. So yeah, so that's exciting. What keeps you grounded outside of work? Like, what are some things that you do that is just like hobbies? That is something that makes you be like, yeah, I'm gonna get up. This is me.
Well, first and foremost, I love tattoos. So that's like a real big, helps me de-stress, if that makes any sense. But also too, it gives me a chance to be creative because I do love to draw, and I like anything that's artistic. But that's one big thing that I spend a lot of free time doing. But ultimately, I think you remember, like I like to go to Las Vegas every single year, and I compete in poker tournaments. Like I love to go and spend the time out there doing that. So that's a big thing for me. I used to be super heavy in the gym. With this role, it's not realistic just to keep everything moving right now. Maybe eventually, but for right now, like by the time my day is done, I'm just mentally like, nope, not not happening today. But yeah, so I think that's like been like a big change because I used to be like my cup of coffee. Like I would get up and go to the gym for the 5 a.m. crew. And, that's really just kind of changed with this role.
Yeah,
But it's cool because ultimately, like, I get to do something that I'm really passionate about all day. I get to help, such a wide range of teams and work with people all over the world, which is super cool. So for me, just, continuing to do the Jessica things in the downtime I do have. But also being able to have such a great relationship with my colleagues and being able to support them no matter what day or time of night is kind of makes me feel like I have like a real purpose.
yeah. Oh, I love that. I love how you said your passion. You can definitely hear it in your voice, the passion about what you do and what you bring and what is going to, transpire throughout. But also the fact that you hit on like, making sure you stay mentally focused, right? Because your role is a very important role, but outside you got to have that little balance. And I know people kind of go back and forth on work life balance, but really trying to figure out what it is to keep you where you're still capable of doing your work, but also having your moments of yourself. And I like the creative side of you with the tattoos. That okay, I only have one tattoo because I'm scared of needles, but I always keep telling myself I'm going to get another one or two, but I haven't gotten there yet. But I like that part of just the creativeness and then and also just still staying focused and true to you, like you said, the Jessicas, and that's you and what you bring. I think one thing I really truly remember when we were talking last time as a guest is your empowering ways and how you're saying always to be true to yourself and be who you are, because that's what brings you to the table uniquely, individually, and it makes you have that purpose. And I think, and I just love that. So I kind of wanted to tap back into that because with everything else going on with your new role and your new and everything in general, it's exciting. And so can I just do some kudos here? So that means from 1 whole year ago being on a guest, I get excited for the little things, but it's such your big things as well and celebrating. And you can empower anyone else out there as an audience to know that anything is capable if you put your mind to it and work through it. And with you being able to do what you do, I think that's awesome. So I just had to say that snippet because I do get excited for that as well. Okay, so I want you to finish this sentence, okay? I'm going to say it and I'm going to have to read it because I don't want to mess it up. If there's one thing I want people to remember from my journey, it's
do not be afraid. If you have a higher purpose and you're willing to put in the work, just do it. I'm such a loyal person. You know, I've always been that. I've always been loyal to my career, to the company that I worked for. This was by far the scariest jump that I think I've ever made. But I'm so glad that I did, that I was brave enough to know and to trust myself that I could do this. And I've proven that to myself. I've proven that to my colleagues. You know, I think I told you the last time, like, I don't ever want to be told no. I don't ever want to be stuffed into a box. I don't ever want to be able to not stand up next to a group of leaders and not be respected or, you know, seen as a value. So I want to put in the effort and the work and the energy where, you know, I am needed and I am respected for that. This goes back to be unapologetically you. Don't don't ever let, you know, somebody stuff you in the box, you know? So with me, like, I want to be able to be remembered. I want to be able to be impactful. And I want to show up for my team. I want to show up for everybody that I work with and put in the hard work, roll up the sleeves, get your hands dirty, get into the trenches. It doesn't matter what level of leadership you are. As long as you do that, you're going to be respected and you're going to be seen and you're going to be heard. And I will forever live by that mantra. I don't want to be anybody but me. I'm very proud of my journey. I'm proud of how far I've come throughout my career. And I feel like I'm in that moment of thriving for myself, you know, with being with Verifast. It's very rewarding.
Talk about thriving in 25, because that's exactly what you're doing. And I love how you said show up and be present. Ultimately, that is the game changer. That's what it's all about. And of course, I cannot leave out being unapologetically you. Wow, Jessica, this has been such a great catch up. Just really getting to know where you're at. What do you have accomplished within a year? What are you doing? What are you looking forward to in your journey, right? I can't wait to see what your next steps and how far you're going to go from here because I can see it. I feel it. It's going to even go far and where you're at with your present company with Verifast. So again, thank you so much for being a part of thriving in multifamily and in life because you definitely are thriving and you definitely have accomplished a lot. Till next time, Jessica, thank you so much for being a part of this episode, which was brought to you by Multifamily Media Network. And I will talk to you guys soon. And everyone out there, you stay visionary.
Thank you for tuning in to Thriving in Multifamily, a visionary podcast. I hope our conversations have inspired you to act and achieve your career goals. Remember, the key to success is to continue learning and growing. And as always, stay visionary. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, and subscribe. Visit multifamilymedianetwork.com to learn more about our industry podcast, thought pieces, and sponsorship opportunities.